Today I'm going to show you how, starting from a Lego minifigure habitat, you can build a castle vignette. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with two very cool minifigures from the CMF Series 12, the Wizard and the Jester. I'm going to bring into the scene three more minifigures. The Queen, that I don't remember exactly from which series come from, but I already built something for that. I have a custom King. This is a torso and legs from the D&D, one of the D&D minifigure, and also have a custom kind of knight. So the idea is to kind of combine 5 minifigure habitats to create a sort of castle interior. Now the first thing I'm going to do is bring in this little base. So this is the usual 8x8 that we use for the habitats, but I'm not going to build any wall because we are going to have one habitat on this side, one habitat on this side. Something like we did last week with the Crazy Scientist Lab. So you can see here I did a little bit of placement of bricks and tiles and plates sideways because I want to create this sort of carpet effect. Doing this, there is a little bit of edge with this carpet on top of the floor. On the other side, I'm going to connect the other habitat. This is another 8x8. And you can see we have one wall over on this side. Another one will be connected here. I'm not going to build the wall over here because then I'm going to connect everything at the back. Again, very similar to what we did with the monster and the crazy science last time. You can see that I also build up a little bit because I think sometimes with the habitats, if we stay very low, then you need to add a lot of details on the wall to make them interesting. Sometimes if you gain a little bit and raise the floor a little bit, anyway, this was necessary because of this carpet, so I had to come up until here at least. We need to add then less details on the back. Before we move over there at the back, I build another section over here to continue this carpet, have a little step here and going until here. A couple of small stairs, and here is where the Queen and the King will sit. Over here I have a big window. This is built sideways, very simple technique, using some arch pieces, some inverted arches over here to create this interesting window, and some golden details over there to create a kind of separation. You can see this little structure. I'll talk about this in a while. And this at the back is supposed to be the back side of the seat of the thrones where the King and the Queen are gonna sit. They are a little bit fragile, but once you put the minifigure on top, they kind of work. I cannot play around with them too much because they are very easily falling off. This is of course an illegal technique because I'm connecting two pieces with the same clip, so it's not gonna stay together very well. Now let's start to add the Queen. Now I need to make this minifigure look like if they're sitting. I thought one cool idea with this Queen would be to just swap this big skirt that she has and then add it like so. So this makes it look like she's sitting and the legs are coming a little bit forward. Very, very simple technique, and I think it kind of works. A little bit more tricky was for the King. So what I'm going to do here is to remove the legs from the hips, something that I often do in my minifigure. We are going to connect the King with his big sword on the back here. I just need to make sure that the cape goes through, kind of. Now you can see, of course, I already messed it up. But anyway, let's leave it as it is for now, just for the purpose of this video. Okay, and then I can add the legs at the front. So this will make it look like if the King is sitting. Now, you can see, looking at the Queen, for example, that the chair effect kind of works. Not so much for the King now because I dropped one. But anyway, now we can add a little bit of details. So I'm planning to add a couple of kind of, not chairs, but maybe something where people that have an audience with the King and the Queen can sit or kneel on. I build a little like planters to go on the side of this carpet. Over here, I don't have any more jumpers in this color, so I'm just going to put it like this. This is another piece that's probably going to fall off quite often, but you know, sometimes if you don't have the pieces, you need to work with what we have. Over here, I have another one. I thought to add a little bit of different color, I can add this little dog that come from another minifigure similar to the queen that was the aristocrat, I think. Now, on the other side, we are gonna have this structure over here. So same thing, we have a wall on this side, no interior wall. And this is where we're gonna add our jester. Before that, you can see that I added a little staircase going up. I have a little bit of ingots here to create this interesting shape. And then I'm using these panels that I got, I think some Harry Potter set that I parted out, that I'm gonna use as a backdrop for this stairs so we don't have any light going in, and makes it look like the stairs are going up. We can add a little bit of fire here, lanterns kind of thing, to kind of frame a little bit more this stairway going up. And then we can add a jester here that is entertaining the king and the queen with some card games. So you can see now that the scene is becoming quite interesting. Now at the back side, again, I'm gonna follow with the same idea, coming up a little bit. So let's move this on the side a bit and connect. So we have the same type of flooring. You can see that I ran out of all the 2x2, so I have a lot of 1x2 and longer one, also 2x4, to fill this gap. So over here we have a smaller window. I'm using the same gold piece. Again, another illegal technique. The tip is going into that little indentation there for the window. A little bit of masonry, a different texture, headlight bricks on the side to make it interesting. I have some shields at the back, so you have this very simple build that is gonna connect over there. And I also have some arches, so we make this all look a little bit more interesting. I'm also gonna add a little bit of extra wall at the back to block the window, which is not ideal because I like to have more light coming in. But it would be weird if the stairs go up and then there's a window, then where the stairs are going. So like this, at least it makes a little bit more sense, like if there's windows, the stairs are continuing up. Now, of course, here we're gonna add a little bit more details. So we're gonna have this kind of treasure chest kind of thing with another candle and a drink. And maybe we can have another piece over there to kind of fill up the room. And this is where the guard is gonna be, looking a little bit at the jester, like confused of what the jester is doing in front of the king and the queen. Okay, now we just need to connect these together. And now I need to build the room for the wizard. So here I have a little bit of footage from my members only vlog. Initially I was thinking about having a closed room and then kind of have the walls broken down to peer inside, but it didn't look nice. So I decided to go for a balcony kind of look. So here I have another habitat, same structure, but this time I went with a curved corner, which is totally fine for an habitat. It doesn't have to be square. You can have a front curve and it's totally fine. And this is gonna be sitting up here with the continuation of those stairs. So of course here I'm not going down all the way, but we just need to give the idea of these stairs going up. Over here we have something like a telescope to kind of looking far away, even though I don't know what the technology is supposed to be at the time of this custom. Here, this is some other, I think, Harry Potter printed part. I'm not too happy about this because it's the same color as the wall, so it doesn't stand out much, but I don't have anything else that fits. Here I have a little table to add with a letter and I don't know what's the name of this, the equivalent of a pen of the time. And we can add our wizard here in the center that is looking at the balcony outside towards the hall downstairs. We can add a little bit of framing over here, again following the same color scheme, which is this nougat or dark orange. And then we can add this on the top over here. So we have our, what is normally an habitat stack with 1, 2, and 3 habitats, but in this case we expanded a little bit underneath, we expanded a little bit at the front, and then we have a complete scene. Just to complete everything properly, I'm gonna add a little bit of connection on top to close down this area for the wizard. I'm gonna add a couple of, actually this one I think should come a little bit forward like so. Add a couple of flags. Again, I'm not too sure about this detail, but I think something was a little bit missing in this wall, so this was the easiest and most simple solution to fill up that wall. And now the build is done. Let me know what you think about this. Actually, again, beginner mock builder, you want to start with one simple habitat and then expand around it. Just imagine if you bring these walls up all the way, you can create a big castle wall, adding some windows, extend the flooring over here in some interesting shapes. So there is a lot of possibilities, starting with a minifigure habitat, starting from the minifigure actually. The minifigure will give you the inspiration for the habitat, and then from there you can expand into a bigger scene. Now, let me know what you think about this kind of series of expanded habitats. And if you like these two minifigures from the CMF Series 12, I have another video with two very, very cool minifigure and minifigure habitats from the same series. You can find the link here on screen. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.